Let's see if we actually have a chat today. Yesterday, there was a glitch with YouTube. Fucked my whole day up. The Saxon, a little something from my old friend, little Chrissy Boy Lodrago. Thank you very much, Saxon. I appreciate that, brother. I might have to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to delete that from the chat. Is that all right? Thank you, though. Yeah, that won't hurt anything. No. Just delete. Good. There you go. All right. Thanks, though, brother. You're the man. $11 people. Jump in the chat, guys. Hit the like and subscribe. No, I know it was. But you understand why I had to do that. Yeah. You're a trip, bro. I know. Nikki, Chrissy, Jeannie. Yeah. Fucking guy. Guy's a clown. $25 people. Hit the like button, please, guys. All right. Democrates trash. Democrates. Should try again with the spelling of that, Taylor Porter. Why are Democrats trash? Tell me. Curious. It's so funny, man. I put up a title and a prompt about Trump. First Trump supporter in the chat mentions Democrats. Next one will mention Biden. The elites don't care about you, either party. Well, when it really comes down to it, they're all out for their own, political ambitions and stuff to help themselves. But one party does things for working people and the other party doesn't. Trump 2, as opposed to Trump 1. The spin they are trying after it was reported they were scrubbing the Epstein files of the 14-year-old Trump didn't try fooling around with. He forced her to give him oral. If you guys remember, too, I talked about this like a week ago. Like independent journalists, I'm not one of them. I'm not saying. But I mean, the guys I listen to, they were talking about this shit like 4 or 5 days before the mainstream media picked it up. That's why everybody in the chat was like, what are you talking about? That's not true. I'm going to look it up right now. It's true. The guy's name is Roger Sullenberger. He did an investigation and he found out that this girl that accused Trump of forcing her to do something to him and then hit her afterwards is the same girl that later on as a woman in 2020 sued the Epstein estate and won millions of dollars. So she has evidence, obviously, or she wouldn't have won the lawsuit. And, like I said, she also was abused by Trump. But according to the FBI, she had pictures and she didn't want them to see that Trump was in them because she feared for her life, of course. She wasn't worried about Epstein. He was dead. And so it begins. Yes, sir. He sure hasn't created any jobs. No, he hasn't. Dems protect the pedos and elites also. Not really. The Dems are the reason we've seen any of the Epstein files so far. They forced the vote on it. Biden had the files. Trump had them before him. Here we go, guys. It's the first one. There'll be many of those. Trump is the only one that cares about us. Trump was never involved in what you say. It's fake and lies. Oh, yeah? Tell me how Trump cares about you. What reason has he given you to believe that? But I'd rather voted for him than Kamala. Would have been way worse. She had no idea what she was doing. Taylor, to hear you say that as somebody who supports Trump is fucking hilarious. Kamala Harris was 10,000 times more with it than Trump. She had actual policy proposals. She demolished him in that debate. She's a much more educated, much more intelligent woman. How do you get your information from? Again, interesting question. They're both complicit. You're delusional. Yeah, maybe, but not. It's not the same. It's not equal. There's no two wings of the same bird. It's two different parties. Stand for two different things. 80% of Dems were in the files. Ro Khanna just got busted for taking money from Epstein. No, he didn't. And tell me which Dems were in the files. 80% of Dems? Wow, that's hundreds. Tell me which ones. No, that's not true. There's millions of Republicans who hate Donald Trump and know he's a pedo. You guys aren't Republicans. You're MAGA. You're a sick, twisted faction of the Republican Party. I know it is. This guy will say demo rats are the pedos, but won't name any. Bill Clinton, who else? Why did she lose then? She had 107 days to run, and Trump had years to run, and she only lost by 2 million votes when Trump lost to Biden by 7 million votes. He didn't get 50% of the vote, Donald Trump. He didn't even get 50% of the vote. So you're a fucking idiot. There's always a guy who calls me an idiot while misspelling the word your. I'm sorry, your. Isn't that some shit? How ironic is that? Fucking asshole. She is dumb as fuck. Is she compared to Trump? Yeah, okay. Well, that's simply exterra. That's like if I just decide to make something up about Trump, I could just say things like that too. There's literally, believe me, I've researched it thoroughly. There's literally no evidence that Kamala ever had a drinking problem or even drinks. We've never seen her. You guys just, she has a silly laugh. You're like, oh, she's drunk. Yeah, it's that you're drunk. That's the problem. Why didn't Trump release them before the Democrats? Guys, don't tell anyone the answer. For the smart people, don't tell them the answer. I want to see what he says. Why didn't Trump release them first? Tidal waveism. It took years for Trump to get 51 billionaire donors. It took 19 weeks for Kamala to get 83 billionaire donors. You Epstein apologists are so out of touch with reality. Epstein apologists? You realize it's your side that's the Epstein apologists, right? Not our side. Democrats are the only reason we've seen any of the files so far. I hope you know that. Or they're the main reason. And who says Kamala had 83 billionaire donors? Who says? Show me the proof of that. Can you ask for evidence of others? Opinion, where's yours? I don't know what that means. Russia pays the right guys. Again, you're confused. Remember, it was all the right-wing podcasters that we found out were being paid by the Russians and shit. I mean, are you serious? You guys, everything is backwards with you guys. Democrats are democrats. So dumb. You guys, listen, it's always supposed to sound like the word. Like demon rats is the closest you can get. Even that's stupid. Like I could call you retardlicans or republicans. Like that's funny. Democrats, that's not funny. That's corny. The facts are that all Dems voted for the release. Republicans didn't. Yep. Bye, bitch. That's exactly it. Trump's like, this is the best economy we've ever had. Yeah, if you're a fucking billionaire or if you're making $260 some $1,000 a year, which most don't. Yeah. Obama was not in the files accused of anything. I mean, Marilyn Monroe was in the files. Kurt Cobain was in the files. Janis Joplin was in the files. It's not about who was in the files. It's about what were they accused of. Donald Trump was accused of raping several 13-year-old girls. No, it wasn't. No, it's not. It's your or you are. It's very simple. A fucking apostrophe and an extra letter. I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys can't master that. They try to act like it's shorthand. Shut the fuck up. Oh, yeah? How so? Tell me how. How'd they do that? You think anyone cares? No, but I believe he wants the best for everyone. What would make you think that? What would make you think that? What makes you say that? Why? What have we seen that would make you believe that Trump wants the best for everyone? I'm curious. I'm asking a serious question. Yeah, Republicans. How does it feel to have your Democrat ass handed to you on live TV by Trump? I don't know. That's never happened to me. Trump doesn't even know who I am. But I'm assuming you're referring to something Trump did to Democrats. What would that be? If you're talking about the State of the Union, I hope you know that he made a complete fucking fool of himself and he lied 32 times during that fucking State of the Union. I hope you know that. No, it wasn't Leslie Hall. Oh, there you go, guys. They're making fun of me for not having enough likes. Do me a favor, all the non-Trump supporters, please hit the like button. It's not about who is in it. Well, yeah. I mean, what are you saying? Do you see what I mean? I mean, you're making it sound like I'm saying, oh, it's only about Trump. Or no, there's millions of people that are in the files. You realize that if Epstein had a playlist and Kurt Cobain was on it, that's in the files. So when they put out that ridiculous list of names, Kurt Cobain was in there as being in the files. So was Marilyn Monroe. So was Janis Joplin. Tons of other fucking people, famous people, people that have been dead for decades. So just because your name's in there, if Epstein mentioned your name in a conversation, your name's in the files. It doesn't mean you did anything. Trump is actually accused of raping children. Steve Bannon is in there for having, he was working basically as like a PR person for Steve Bannon, trying to rehab his image. Elon Musk is in there begging in emails to be invited to the island. Howard Nutlick brought his fucking kids to the island. I mean, that's the important shit. Bill Clinton is accused of graping one of the kids with Trump. That's important. Verifiable lies. Tell me what I've lied about. Just tell me. Name one thing I've lied about. See what I mean? This is the kind of shit they do. Every show I talk about how they're like children, and they're like children. Thank you, Feral Cat Sanctuary. Hit the like button, please, and subscribe if you can. Bro, Trump was mentioned, but Trump was mentioned a million times. Yeah, a million times he was mentioned. See, look, they have nothing of substance to say. They don't know anything about politics. They don't know anything about Trump. They don't know anything about Kamala. Just this shit. Meanwhile, you know, you got to be a fucking retard to believe that the woman gave birth to children. But, you know, they heard Obama one time say, me and Michael, he was talking about a guy from FEMA, would like to thank everybody or wish everybody the best, something like that. And they were like, oh my God, he must be talking about Michelle. That's how simple-minded they are. Yeah, it is. It is. You shut the fuck up. You're a moron. No. And again, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, stupid Joe. You're completely correct, but the Democratic side isn't much better. They got their problems. I'm not here to just defend Democrats, but I'm saying when you compare them to the Republicans at this point, even as bad as the Democrats are, it's good versus evil. Seriously. Yes, I do, Bulls Woodwork. Why? Why do you ask? The economy is better. No, it's not. It's not better. Zero proof. You're a fool. They tried everything, including shooting him to keep him out of office. You're an absolute fool. You mean one kid tried to shoot him and then he got killed by Secret Service and that was it? When you say they, I know, right? It's this dark, shadowy, it's the deep state, right? It's all the Democrats. It's, yeah, everybody got together and they staged this elaborate hoax that there's no proof of whatsoever. Otherwise, you know, it would be the hugest scandal in the history of time. But yeah. Yeah, they tried killing him. Yep. You got that right, but at least to make yourself look less stupid, spell your right when you call somebody an idiot. No, we didn't. There was Joe Biden didn't run for the second term. I dropped out. I don't know if you remember. The fuck? Trump will be supreme leader of the People's Republic of America. Gotcha. Why do you support open borders and immigrant invaders? Why do you hate your country? There is no such thing as open borders in this country. There hasn't been open borders in over 100 years. So I don't even know what you're talking about. Dirty dude, 199. These clowns are cult members. They are. Thank you for the 199, my friend. Well, I'll tell you one of them. He told there's like 3 or 4 different news organizations that talked about them all. I could pull them up if you want. But one of them, the best one, is that he said inflation was 1.7% in the last 3 months of 2025, when in reality it was 2.7%. List of Donald Trump's lies from the State of the Union. Here's some of them. Let's see. The economy claim. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy. The facts, not quite. Voters weren't happy with high inflation in the 2024 election, but the U.S. economy was far from stagnant. The U.S. gross domestic product rose 2.8% in 2024 after adjusting for inflation. That's a stronger pace of growth than the 2.2% achieved last year during the start of Trump's second term. Claim incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. Facts, not so. After-tax incomes adjusted for inflation rose just 0.9% in 2025, down from 2.2% in 2024, Biden's last year in office. The annual gain in Trump's first year is the smallest since 2022, when inflation soared and caused Americans inflation-adjusted income to drop. Wages and salaries are the largest component of incomes, and their growth has slowed as companies have sharply slowed hiring. Workers typically command smaller wage gains in such an environment. This is one of the best lies. You guys go around repeating this too because you're so fucking dumb. Listen, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. If you believe that, you should have a fucking lobotomy. The entire GDP of the U.S. is like 28 trillion. You think he got more than fucking half of that in investments? Listen, Trump has presented no evidence that he secured this much domestic or foreign investment in the U.S. based on statements from various companies, foreign countries, and the White House's own website. That figure appears to be exaggerated, highly speculative, and far higher than the actual sum. The White House website offers a far lower number, 9.6 trillion, and that figure appears to include some investment commitments made during the Biden administration. A study published in January raised doubts about whether more than 5 trillion in investment commitments made last year by many of America's biggest trading partners will actually materialize, and questions how it would be spent if it did. There's some 18 trillion. You fucking dummies believe that. Now, a guy up there just said Bill Clinton is guilty. So you believe Bill Clinton's guilty. Now, he was accused of the same rape as Donald Trump. So Clinton's guilty, Trump's not, right? Oh, no, he would not. Not Newsom, bro. I don't think you listen to Newsom enough. No, he would not. He would demolish either one of them. And I think Vance would have a better chance than Rubio, but still. Yeah, not really, the Hoove. Not like you think. I know you like to blame that for inflation and stuff, but I mean, you do know that like, do you know how much money Trump spent during his first 4 years? Do you have any idea? He raised the national debt by $7.8 trillion. That's more than Obama did in both terms combined. He never graped her. She's a liar. Learn the truth. Never graped who? What's her name, Kimmy? Or Kim Y, whatever your name is. Never graped who? Because there's several women that accused, young girls that accused him of this. So which one? Who are you talking about? Yeah, the gas prices are literally like 20 cents a gallon less on national average than they were in 2024, which is, I don't know. What are you going to save yourself? Like $2.40 per tank or something. So yeah, you're killing it there. and high stock prices. The stocks were hitting record highs under Biden all the time his last 2 years in office, all the time. I don't know who Derek Johnson is, but I'll check him out. But I guarantee he wouldn't. If he's a MAGA guy, he wouldn't. What do you mean Trump passed the wage? No, they don't. They don't give a shit. Only if it's Democrats are they against pedophilia. Unless you're an illegal alien, the Democratic Party doesn't care about you. So funny you say that. I wonder why. Like, could you tell me why you say that? Curious. Is this because you think like illegals can vote and like Democrats want free health care for illegals and stuff? Is that why? Because all that's bullshit. This is true, dear little heart. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you can, just to show support to the channel, maybe throw a super chat my way. Those always help. You get your comment read, all that good stuff. You know how super chats work. But at the very least, hit the like button and subscribe, please. Clinton been to the island 33 times. Trump never went there. Trump kicked Pedo Stein out of Mar-a-Lago. Dumbass. No, he didn't, Joseph Tallerson. Watch this. You want to see something? Is there any proof Bill Clinton ever went to Epstein Island? Based on available evidence, flights... Well, here.
Based on available evidence, flight logs, and court documents, there is no concrete proof that former President Bill Clinton ever visited Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James. While Bill Clinton did travel on Epstein's private jet multiple times in the early 2000s, he has denied visiting the island, a claim supported by both Epstein and his associate Ghislaine Maxwell in various statements. Here's a breakdown of the information regarding Bill Clinton and Epstein's island. 1. Documented flights. Flight logs from 2002 and 2003 show that Bill Clinton took several trips on Epstein's private plane, often accompanied by his Secret Service detail and staff. These trips were primarily for Clinton Foundation work, according to his spokesperson. 2. Denials and contradictions. Giuffre allegation. Accuser Virginia Roberts Giuffre previously alleged she met Clinton on the island, but this claim has been heavily contested. Epstein and Maxwell. In 2025, it was reported that court documents and newly released emails showed both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell maintained that Clinton never visited the island, with Maxwell explicitly stating he'd never, absolutely never went. Secret Service. A Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, request to the U.S. Secret Service did not find evidence of a visit to the island. 1.
Now, as you guys know, maybe you don't know, but 2002 and 2003, he took these flights and he had already been president for 8 years. So he had the Secret Service with him. So you see how you guys just say shit? Now, I'll admit there's no proof Trump was at the island, but you guys just say shit without any proof whatsoever. Plus, he didn't kick him out of Mar-a-Lago. The files we have now from the 3 million files, one of the documents is Epstein's lawyer quoting Donald Trump as saying to him, he was never kicked out of Mar-a-Lago. He was never a member. He was a guest, and he was never asked to leave. So that's, again, just a rumor. And Trump, says it because he knows you dolts will believe it. But we never had any reason to believe that other than Trump's word. And if all you got is Trump's word on something, yeah, believe me, the opposite is true. He calls his own daughter hot, yet you have a hard time thinking he would be a part of this scandal. It's amazing, right? We love Trump. You don't. The woman who was married to John Johnson. That's who. I don't know. Who the fuck are you talking about? John Johnson. Who is John Johnson? The fuck is she talking about? Oh, John Johnson. Trump would take babies. I know. Probably. Let me see. 1,700 to all active military. That was a scam too, right? All that was a housing allowance that was already congressionally approved for them. He just decided to give it to them as part of a check instead as a payment rather than the actual housing allowance itself. So there was zero net benefit for them. it was just the same money given to them in a different form. That's it. That's all it was. Oh yeah, like what? What lies do we tell? What's not true, Ram? Guys, there's a lot of comments. There's 300 people. When you say not true at all, I have no idea what you're talking about. You got to say what's not true. Jesus Christ. All Democrats are the liars and crooks. Yeah, Trump's been selling pardons since he took office again, and he's made $4 billion. Well, just in 2025, he made $4 billion. He's taken bribes openly and stuff, so it's probably not a good hill to die on. Only 2% of the files have been released. No video proof yet to be released, even though every inch was covered by cameras. Ain't that some shit? Yes, very true, Wendell bros. Yep. They think it only happened on the island. They were doing this shit. One of the accusations in the files says it took place at Mar-a-Lago. Another one says it took place at Trump's golf course in Ranchos Palos Verdes or whatever the fuck it is in California. Another one says Jeffrey Epstein's home in New York. So it wasn't just, No. That's why I see, Jimmy, that's why you can never get me on that. Because even I just said, and I didn't have to, that there's no proof Trump's was ever on the island. Trump was ever on the island. I don't bullshit. Jimmy, that's you guys. That's what you do. It's just like how earlier somebody said in the chat, well, Bill Clinton's guilty after saying Trump isn't. Meanwhile, they were accused of the same exact thing. Okay, so you guys believe what fits your narrative. It's like the Ashley Biden thing. Ashley Biden made a comment in her diary, showers with my dad when I was a child, probably not appropriate. Then, in a letter to a judge, she said, my dad never did anything as far as molestation or anything like that to me. I love him dearly, and my words were grossly misinterpreted and taken out of context. So what you guys do is you ignore that last part. And you just say, well, look what it says in the diary. So her word's only good to you when it tells you something you want to hear. That's what your problem is. Oh, yeah, never in my fucking life. Never would I be one of you people. Never. Fucking, oh my God, don't even insult me that way. I don't know. I don't know. It's vague. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know, man. Don Johnson's brother, LOL. Yeah, I'm assuming. Is that what she means? Who is she talking about? That's an ignorant comment. Obviously, President Trump cares about people that aren't billionaires. You're off your meds. The scum in the WEF are billionaires. WEF. Billionaires that are trying to depopulate the earth. World Economic for... Oh, God. Anyway, I know where your head is at. No, he doesn't. Trump doesn't care about anybody who's not a billionaire. He's in office to make himself and his billionaire friends richer. He despises you people. He despises working people. The fact that you don't see that is mind-boggling. No, they're not. They're really not. MAGA, why didn't they delete his name from the files? Or why did they delete his name from the files? Innocent people do not need their names deleted. Wendell, they'll just deny that they did it. You know what I mean? Let me see. How many Epstein files did Biden release? Biden had the same files for over 2 years. No, he had them for 4 years. Trump had them for over 2 years before Biden. So how are you going to ask? This is what I mean. Like the guy just said, I only believe what fits my narrative. No, this is what I mean. This is the most disingenuous shit in the world. I get like 50 of these every live stream. The same comment. How can you ask why didn't Biden release them if Trump didn't release them before Biden? Trump had them. Why didn't you ask? Why aren't you asking that? Curious. Which, by the way, I can answer the question for you. But I'm curious. Why didn't Trump release them? If you're worried about Biden, why aren't you worried about why Trump didn't release them? Oh no, there's tons of evidence of it. You're brainwashed cult members. You know what I mean? Your mind won't let any opposing viewpoint enter it. You know, if it's bad about Donald Trump, you don't want to see it or hear it. HBCU lost money under Trump. Oh, they're not making that stupid argument, the HBCU thing, are they? because Donald Trump made permanent $250 million a year for HBCUs, except Joe Biden gave them $17 billion and Obama gave them $4 billion. So when they make that argument, I crack up. Cry more libtards. That's what I mean. You guys got to stop listening to Fox News. It's completely untrue. I'm a Democrat. I don't believe in any of that shit. Period. None of it. So Trump doesn't give two fucks about you idiots. No, hell no. Let me see. Democrats, bunch of bootlickers. It's funny because they're the ones protesting about stuff, right? And you're the ones that are just saying comply. Isn't that some shit? They're the bootlickers, except when Donald Trump finally attacked your own Second Amendment, the one you care about so fucking much. It's the only constitutional amendment you care about. You guys were like, yeah, that's fine. If Trump says it's true. Shouldn't have had a gun. Shouldn't have been practicing my Second Amendment right while practicing my First Amendment right. Nope, Trump's right. If he says constitutional rights don't count anymore, they don't count. There's never been a bigger bunch of bootlickers than MAGA. Here's a valid test to check how Trump's policies benefit you. Compare your tax return from last year to this year, then add the estimate of tariffs you paid to this year's total tax. Yeah, well, they would never be able to. They don't even believe that they pay the tariffs. They still think foreign countries pay the tariffs. Do you believe crime should flow? No, that's why I'm against Trump. Trump is a 34-time felon, and he pardoned some of the worst criminals of all time. He pardoned 1,600 rioters who assaulted 140 police officers on January 6th. He pardoned CZ, the founder of Binance, who was laundering money for like terrorists and pedos and drug lords. And he did that for $2 billion. CZ basically paid him $2 billion for that pardon. He pardoned the founder of Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, who could easily be considered the largest drug dealer in the history of the world. He pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was found guilty by an American jury in 2024 of trafficking 500 tons of cocaine into the country. Yeah, no, we don't think so. I think that when Trump moved to D.C., the crime rate in D.C. went up. You are literally stupid. Is that literally stupid as opposed to figuratively stupid? All right. So did Biden. Yeah. Again, guys, there's no way comments like that. I have no idea what you could possibly be referring to because I'm reading a lot of comments and jumping from topic to topic. Like how Dems were trying to take away the First Amendment by complaining to all social media outlets, putting restrictions on what you can say online. That didn't happen. All Dems wanted was Facebook to limit false information regarding COVID, and for good reason, because you stupid motherfuckers were causing people to die with your ridiculous conspiracy theories and shit. You can't even, you can't. Listen, Donald Trump so far has gone after Jimmy Kimmel twice. Okay, he had him taken off the air once. Temporarily, went after Stephen Colbert twice, had him fired, and even when Stephen Colbert's working in his last months, stopped the interview with James Tallarico from airing the other night, just because they pick on him, they make fun of him. He takes press passes away from any journalist who ask him tough questions. He will threaten the broadcast license of any network in which the news programs are critical of him. Twitter, which is now X, was purchased by Elon, and it's nothing more than censorship. If you have anything negative to say about Donald Trump, Elon will fucking block you in a heartbeat. You guys are crazy. You have no idea the censorship that's happening. Trump is doing what it said in Project 2025. He's using the military to break up peaceful protests. There's no comparison between what the Democrats did with Facebook and what Donald Trump has done. They simply didn't want misinformation about COVID. It was their responsibility to make sure that misinformation wasn't being spread because dumb fucks like you walked around really believing that wearing a mask was going to kill you. Fucking morons. You were all against masks until I started wearing them. Ain't that some shit? John Rodriguez, $5. MAGA, Gelfling's brother, Gelflings. Oh, I didn't look at that yet. You can't fix or change stupid. You can't. Thank you for the $5, brother. What press passes did Biden take away? Let's see. Did Biden take away over 350 press passes? In 2023, the Biden administration updated the security requirements for the White House hard pass press credentials. That's it. Security requirements. And that resulted in reporters losing their active long-term hard pass access. So they did it for security reasons. Not because the news or the journalists from those news networks were picking on him. For security requirements. He didn't take away. Let me ask you something. Why didn't Biden take away Fox's press passes? Why not? They're the most critical network of them, but they didn't take it away, right? Exactly. Kimmel did not lie. We guys, we saw it with our own eyes. The fucking FCC guy, whatever his name is, I can't remember now. He said after Stephen Colbert was fired, well, Trump said Kimmel's next. And then the FCC guy said something has to be done about Stephen Colbert. And later that day, we found out that, he was fired. I mean, come on. Reporters are the worst liars. Like who, for example? Could you tell me which reporters you think lie the most? I'm curious. Can you give me some examples of lies? Yeah, for security. Yeah. Let's see. What was the reason Joe Biden updated security requirements for reporters? Based on the provided search results, the Joe Biden administration updated security and access requirements for reporters, specifically White House press credentials, in May 2023, primarily to streamline access, manage space, and modernize requirements for a hybrid work environment. Hard pass audits. The White House implemented new standards requiring annual renewal of hard passes, leading over to 440 reporters losing permanent credentials in 2023. Low utilization. The administration argued that the changes were necessary at the time of the review. Roughly 40% of existing hard pass holders had not accessed the White House complex in the previous 90 days. You see how there's always a reason? It's just like me. On my regular shows, I have a whole bunch of moderators that have been with me forever. As soon as one disappears for a while, I take your wrench. I don't know what the fuck you're up to. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. The updated policy required journalists to prove they worked for an organization focused on news dissemination and had accessed the White House at least once in the prior 6 months or had proof of employment to cover the White House. Aren't you guys the ones that want voter ID and stuff? It doesn't sound like a big deal to me right there. They got to show ID, basically. Yes, Trump is only concerned about the billionaires. That's why he passed the no tax on tips, you morons. No tax on tips is bullshit. And so is no tax on overtime. You stupid fuck. I'm assuming you don't get tips or you haven't done your taxes yet. So the no tax on overtime thing was a scam because you got and by the way, about this Biden thing too, Trump literally would threaten specific individuals if they asked Caroline Leavitt hard questions. He would take their press passes, stuff like that. So it's a totally different thing, guys. But the no tax on overtime thing is simply you get taxed on your overtime all year. You fucking dummies thought that it meant you were going to bring home more every week. It's not what it meant. You get taxed on your overtime all year, just like you always did, except at the end of the year, you get a deduction, not a tax credit. So you don't even get the money back. And it's only on the half of time and a half. It's only on that half part. So 2/3 of it, of your overtime pay, you still pay taxes on. And that expires in 2028. The no tax on tips thing is like a $25,000 maximum. You have to be in certain service industries for you to even be allowed to claim that exemption. And you only get, or that deduction, I should say, and you only get a deduction of your taxable income. You don't get, it's not a tax credit. It's not making your tax return nearly, or your tax refund as much bigger than it was before. So it's not what he said it was. Who wouldn't want voter ID? A lot of people, women, for example. No tax on tips goes away in 2 years. The tax break for the rich doesn't. Yeah. The huge tax breaks for the billionaires that he gave in that same bill, those are permanent. But that no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, and I'll tell you why, too. This way, in 2028, they could tell you, well, you better vote Republican next time so we can make that permanent, you know? Yeah. It's just like the $2,000 check you're going to be getting, that one, like the $5,000 check you were supposed to be getting. Yeah. He said next year now, because he wants to be able to hold it over your heads for the midterms. Well, you better vote for Republicans. Otherwise, we can't give you that $2,000 check, which you're never going to get anyway. He doesn't worry about this law. He doesn't take a paycheck either. What does this law mean? What is this law? And he doesn't take a paycheck. Kimmy, he doesn't take a paycheck because of the emoluments clause. If he takes a paycheck, that's all he can take. He can't get money from anywhere else. It's illegal. If he doesn't take his paycheck, he can. So he made a simple business decision. I could either take my paycheck for 4 years and get, I don't know, $1.8 million or whatever it is, or I can not take a paycheck and pillage and plunder and make as many billions as I want. So, for example, in 2025, Trump made $3.8 billion off of his crypto coin alone. The UAE invested $500 million in his crypto coin. So he gave them some AI chips they weren't supposed to have. Advanced AI chips, stuff like that. So he's taking bribes and shit, and he's making as much money as possible. He took a $400 million jet that's going to leave with him in 2029. It's going to go to his presidential library where he'll have access to it so he could use it as his personal plane. And it's going to cost us $1 billion to retrofit it. It's true, Labo. What does that mean? It can be solidified. It was a bipartisan issue. It's not no tax on tip. There's no tax on overtime is not a thing. And no tax on tips is not a thing. You're still taxed on everything. You just get a deduction. Plus, with the overtime thing, there's limits. If you make over a certain amount of money, you can't deduct your fucking overtime. If you make over 150 or something, you can't deduct your overtime. And even when you can, and by the way, for each, income level, there's less of a deduction. The higher up you go, the less you can deduct. And again, it's only for the half. So in other words, if you make $15 an hour, okay, and your overtime is $22.50, you only get a deduction for the $7.50 extra. That's it. And there's even a limit on that. So it's literally nothing. Nothing. What is this? Sure, it is a false comparison. One is done to prevent people from doxing, and the other was done to protect against the virus that they did to protect from. Try again. Yeah, I think you fucked up how you wrote that. Doxing doesn't matter. All ICE people should be doxed. Law enforcement, and this is what I mean, too. You're bootlickers. You're all bootlickers. Because if they were doing something to you guys, you'd be flipping the fuck out about the fact that they're wearing masks. Law enforcement should not be wearing masks. They never have before, and they shouldn't be now. If you want to go out there and you want to fuck with people and knock old ladies to the ground and pepper spray kids on Halloween and every fucking thing else, I hope you get doxxed, and I hope people come to your fucking house. For real. You deserve it. So if you don't want to do that shit, don't be an ICE agent. If you don't want to have to deal with that stuff. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be doxxed. Well, Pick a different fucking occupation, stupid. Because every fucking cop you'll see on the street has a fucking name tag on and no mask. We love this. Kamala isn't going to be president. LMAO. The bitch is more of a joke than Poopy Pants Joe. Tell me how. Tell me how. Yeah, but what does that mean, Timothy? That doesn't mean, like, how much of that is from your tiny tax deduction from tips? How much of it? Because you could, like, when you say that, how do we know you wouldn't be getting $4,500 without the deduction? That just might be what you get. You have to say, like, oh, in comparison to, you know what I mean? This is no longer about Democrats versus Republicans. It's about normal people versus pedophiles, both in Republican and Democratic parties. Well, here's the problem. There really are none in the Democratic Party. Otherwise, you guys would be talking about them nonstop. The only real Democrat politician in those files is Bill Clinton. Because believe me, they would have put any Democrats out first. We would know about every single one of them already. So if there are any in the files, that we already know about them. Okay? The Democrats, there was a discharge petition, guys. I know you don't know any of this stuff, but Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna authored a discharge petition. The purpose of that was to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. That petition got 4 Republican signatures. It got 214 Democrat signatures. So you see how the Republicans were trying to stop the release of the files and the Democrats were forcing the release of the files? Donald Trump called it a hostile act when Marjorie Taylor Greene said she was going to sign the petition. Why? He called Lauren Boebert into a private meeting and begged her to take her name off the petition. Why? So it's not. It's Democrats versus Republicans. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't take the 400K so he can make billions. Yeah. Yep. Is the accent New Jersey? No. 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 Originally, I'm from Queens, but it was a long time ago. I was born in Queens and raised there, but Dink, that's funny. I got Dink tattooed, R.I.P. Dink on my arm. My best friend's name was Dink. He died. Trump supporters are without question the most uninformed and completely ignorant people on the planet. They are. It's unbelievable. The shit they say. It's like, how do you not know this stuff? How do you not know basic shit that everybody knows? How is it possible? Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, without a doubt. Did you not ever hear her speak? She's a waste and a liar. She's not black. She is black. And here, let's hear her speak. Let's hear her speak. Let's look up some things. Because I love when you guys say that. You're so stupid. Donald Trump speaks on a 3rd grade level. Kamala, you literally saw like a clip of an interview where she fucked up her words and you said she can't speak. Meanwhile, she graduated from Harvard and every position she ever held was a speaking job, essentially. Prosecutor, district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president. She spoke for a living, but yeah, she can't speak. Let's see. Let's look at Kamala not able to speak.
Afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. She totally can't speak. Fucking idiots. What are you thinking when you say shit like that? And Donald Trump literally, again, speaks on a third grade level. He's a fucking moron. When he talks like a third grader. John Rodriguez, $5. Bro, did you ever see the video that the main victim said before she said that Obama was abusing victims at the island? No. You talking about Virginia Giuffre? She didn't put out a video. And I don't remember. I don't know. Hold on. Did Virginia Giuffre put out a video that said that Obama was abusing victims at Epstein Island? No, it says there is no evidence that Virginia Giuffre, frequently referred to as Virginia Roberts, or sometimes misspelled as Virginia Drew Frey or Dufresne, put out a video or made credible claims that Barack Obama was abusing victims at Epstein's Island. While Giuffre has been one of the most prominent accusers of Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew, her allegations have focused on specific individuals such as Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and high-profile associates like Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz. So I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you for the $5, though. Yeah, then it was AI. Yeah, it was AI because she never did a video. She never put out a video. Only thing Democrats ever fight for, abortion. Well, they fought to release the Epstein files, and the Republicans fought to keep them sealed. So how's that work out for you, dopey? I hate Trump, but to be fair, Dems have lost twice to him. They lost twice to the worst candidate in U.S. history, really. This shows how weak the Dems are as a party. It really doesn't, Robert. First of all, Hillary Clinton would have beat Trump. Let's start at the beginning. Trump lost to two women. Which this country, if it hasn't proven already, they're not electing a woman as president. That's why if the Dems run AOC or any woman, they're out of their fucking mind. They elected a black man twice in the most racist country in the fucking world, but they wouldn't elect a woman. So he only lost to women. When he went up against a man, he got the shit kicked out of him. He got beaten by 7 million votes. Hillary Clinton would have won, guarantee it. But James Comey came out with that fucking bullshit right before the election. Remember? There's a big scandal there. Yeah. And even if she wouldn't have, again, he beat Hillary Clinton. As far as Kamala Harris had 107 days to run. So Trump had years. Trump was doing rallies throughout Biden's entire term. And then the last year and a half, 2 years, he was campaigning hard. Kamala had 107 days to run for president, 107 days. And she only lost by 2 million votes. Trump lost to Biden by 7 million votes. So it's not the Democratic Party. It's just the way things went. And by the way, Democrats are flipping seats all over the country right now. Democrats are going to destroy the Republicans in the midterms. The Republicans know that. That's why they started this whole gerrymandering thing and every fucking thing else. They're trying to cheat every way possible. So if it was a man, or if Kamala would have had more time to run, she would have won. Guarantee it. But 107 days? Plus, not to mention, Elon bought Twitter as a way to help get Trump elected. He did nothing but post right-wing propaganda about Trump, making him seem like this fucking hero. For what, a year or two, he did that. TikTok, everything, everything. Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, all these people were on Trump's side. And they were riding for him. And now look at them. Now Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz are like, oh shit, looks like he's a pedophile. And now they don't want nothing to do with him. But they helped this fucktard. I don't have to, stupid. I just like to. You're a punk. Zero apostrophes in that. When you're a Neanderthal, speaking is like the grunting in that Trump video you played. That's why they don't understand Kamala. Yeah, they don't understand Kamala, but they understand this.
When she gets to the... Ladies and gentlemen.
And they understand this.
So like there's various methods. No, I've noticed in the media this week, a lot of them don't have criminal histories. Well, a lot of gamers don't have criminal histories.
Mushmouth Homan. He's one of us. He's speaking to regular people. He's one of you. This is what I mean about the level of ignorance. He's one of you. Kim Y, he was born in Queens. Okay. His father was already damn near a billionaire. Donald Trump inherited, whether you want to believe that $1 million loan lie or not, that's up to you. But in today's money, Trump inherited $400 and something million from his father between the early 70s and the late 90s. $400 million was transferred to him from his father. He never did a thing on his own. He was a spoiled little rich boy. He was a lifelong pro-choice Democrat who said, he's quoted saying, he's on video saying, the economy's always done better than the economy's always done better when Democrats are in charge. This is a guy who did not know what paper towels were. After he threw them at the Puerto Ricans, he was talking about these beautiful soft towels. He had never seen towels like this before. This is a guy who, after the 2024 election, said that he invented the word groceries. He didn't know groceries was an actual word. He's one of you. The guy just said 2 weeks ago, I don't want to make housing cheaper. I want to make it more expensive because I don't want people that didn't work that hard to be able to buy a house. He said the people that own homes, that feel wealthy for the first time in their lives, I don't want people who didn't work that hard to be able to buy those homes. In other words, if you're not rich, you don't deserve a home. He's one of you. He's speaking to regular people. My God, that's the problem, is you fucktards actually believe that. He despises you. He despises you. He would never shake one of your hands in public. I say it on every single show. Never. He laughs at you. You're a joke to him. He said it himself, he said in front of tens of thousands of you, I love the poorly educated. We won with the poorly educated. He said in North Carolina in front of a crowd of his own supporters, I don't care about any of you. I just want your vote. He said this a couple of months ago.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about.
He knows. He knows you guys. Didn't you hear what Susie Wiles said, his own chief, what is she, the White House chief of staff? She said in an interview that what did he say about his supporters? Something about something along the lines of he thinks of them as white trash or something like that. He can't stand you people. He knows what you're like. He sees his crowds at the rallies. There's more people than there are fucking teeth. He knows. That's why he talks the way he does. That's why he uses the racist language. So he can fucking relate to you. So you can relate to him. That's why he does it. It's astounding that you don't know that. Oh my God. If Donald Trump went on live television later and said, hey, MAGA, all of my supporters, I think you are the dumbest white trash hillbilly inbred motherfuckers on planet Earth, you guys would cheer for it. Oh, you would. You'd say he was joking. He was joking. John Rodriguez, $20. It was probably AI. Yeah, probably. Thank you very much for that 20 though, John. You've been hooking me up throughout the show. Nobody's super chatting. Come on, guys, hook me up. I'm fighting for the good guys here. And please hit the like and subscribe. Very, very important. Half black. Yeah, she's half black, which means she's black. They say the same thing about Obama. Obama's not black. Oh, he's black. He's a PDF file. Are you all then a PDF files just like him? Are you talking to me and the left or the right? Or who are you talking about? MAGA? I don't know. That's not what he said. He said he doesn't want to mess with the market because people deserve the value of their home and he needs to take care to not disrupt it. That's what he said. That's literally not what he said. He said, I don't want people that didn't work very hard to be able to buy a home. He said, I want the people who bought a home and finally feel wealthy for the first time in their lives to be able to keep their home, which why wouldn't they be able to? He literally said, I don't want to decrease the cost of housing. You're so full of shit, Billy French. Meanwhile, Billy, He ran on it. He said, I'm going to decrease the cost of housing. Now he's in office. A year later, he says, I don't want to decrease the cost of housing. That's not a good thing, Billy. That means he doesn't want people to be able to afford homes. The average age of a new home buyer in the United States right now is 41 fucking years old. That's the average age. You don't understand that Palantir, and you don't understand JD Vance and all his friends and all that shit, all those BlackRock people, everything else. They buy up all this fucking property. They buy up these homes dirt cheap and hike the prices up through the fucking roof. That's why housing and apartments and everything is so unaffordable in this country. You don't realize that. Yeah, I do have tremendous dick syndrome. Thanks for noticing, Leland. I don't know how you noticed with me sitting down like this, but thanks. No, she didn't. But they kind of are, aren't they? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I guess Biden did the same thing then. Did the same thing. I don't know what that means, but yeah, that was a stupid thing Biden said. But I understand what he was saying. He just said it wrong because he's Biden. But basically what he was saying is if you're black and you're voting for Trump, you're voting against your own best interest. And he was right. He was absolutely right. MAGA smokes rocks. They do. We don't. I mean, what are you even referring to? Because if you're referring to the Learning Center thing, that was all debunked. Okay, CNN talking points. Watch all the clip. I did. He's joking because Dems always say they are highly educated, which is true because more liberals go to college, but that doesn't mean they are smart. Yes, it does, Cap. You just said exactly what I said. Yes. Yeah. In other words, he knows you're stupid. He said smart people don't like me. Your states, red states, are the least educated states in the country. You have a lower percentage of people with high school diplomas, college degrees, and advanced college degrees. He knows that. So, yeah, you're the dumbest, poorest, sickest states in the country. So that's why he said smart people don't like me, because the least or the most educated states in this country with the smartest people are all blue states that voted for Kamala in 2024. So, yeah, smart people don't like him. That's what I told you he said. That's what I showed you him saying. And that's what he was saying. Smart people don't like him. Because, people that go to school, believe me, common sense you're born with. But when you go to college, you learn things, political science. You learn things like people take economics. They get degrees in economics. Kind of important stuff if you want to make an informed vote. So, yeah, it does make you smarter, especially when it comes to voting. So Trump knows. He knows the dumbest. Fox had to report that a much lower percentage of people with high school diplomas and college degrees voted for Trump than Kamala. It's hilarious. Who lives in a poor state? He is destroying education just for that very reason. Yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand that Republicans need an uneducated electorate. Smart people are never going to vote. I mean, working class type of people. I'm not talking about billionaires will always vote for Republicans because it's in their best interest. But you dolts, the trailer park people, the people in the shacks, the people in regular homes, the average working class people. If you were smart, you'd never vote for Republicans. You're literally voting against your own best interest. You never would. So they need a stupid electorate. This is why they always tell you guys, don't go to colleges or universities. Charlie Kirk used to say it all the time, but the politicians say it too. Don't go to colleges and universities. It's a waste of time. Learn a trade. Yeah, because they'd rather have you be a plumber than a fucking lawyer or a doctor or somebody with fucking, with brains who knows better. They want you to learn a trade. They don't want you. Meanwhile, they all went to Ivy League schools and they all send their kids to them. But the dumber the American population is, the more chance the Republican Party has of winning, because they have no desirable policies whatsoever unless you're a billionaire. So this is why they do that. They don't want education because they don't want smart people voting. That's why Do I have a degree? I'll have you know that I graduated from Harvard with honors. How about that? That's why they vote for Mamdani, because they were smart. Well, yeah, let's see how he does. Yeah, absolutely. Who are they supposed to vote for? Cuomo? Sliwa? Well, Massachusetts is the most educated state in the country. And highest rates of people with high school diplomas and advanced college degrees. Also, no one can dispute he's the only president in history that we elected with a criminal record. Well, they'll just say that they're not real crimes. You know? Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like and subscribe, and don't be afraid to contribute in one way or another. Yeah, just another Trump rally, literally. States do not matter. The dumbest areas in red states are controlled by Democrats. That's not true. And I'll tell you why it's not true. Because again, isn't it funny that the Democrat states are the most educated states? And those cities are where a lot of the colleges and universities are. The smartest people in blue states are in those cities. Same thing in red states. Red states, it's the rural population. It's the people on the outskirts. It's the people in the middle of nowhere. I mean, are you for real? Are you you're telling me that the rural areas of these states are just filled with mansions and fucking CEOs and corporate executives? It's trailer parks and shacks and shit. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the poorest states in the country, not because of the blue cities, but because of the red areas. And the reason for that is they're the lowest in education. That's why. Obviously, you put stupid people somewhere with no skills, they're going to be poor, right? It's not the blue. I know you'd love to convince yourself of that. It's not the blue areas that bring those stats down. It's not. If it was, then the biggest states with the biggest blue city would be the least educated states, right? Of course. 199, what's your thoughts on his criminal records before? I don't know what you mean before, but I think it's disgusting to hire a convicted felon or to elect a convicted felon to be the president is disgraceful. But even worse so is fucking bragging about it, wearing a shirt that says, I voted for the felon. They don't realize what morons they sound like. I went to college, you idiot. I have a master's, and I would never vote for a Democrat. That just means you're one of the stupid ones. You know what I mean? There's stupid people, too. I didn't say they're all smart. You're just one of the stupid ones. Wow, he knows so much. I never knew I lived in a shack and was uneducated. He's so smart. Not. You just ended a sentence with like it's 1992. Not. Yeah, you're stupid. Just like I said. Let me see. I didn't go to Harvard, you dipshit. You actually believe me when I said that? I'm just naturally brilliant. Master debating? All right, I'll stop. Florida loaded with rich people. Oh, there's tons of rich people there, but there's fuck tons of poor people. I mean, what are you, crazy? Guys, listen, man. I got to do this on every show because you guys never just take my word for it. Guys, please hit like and subscribe. What are the poorest states in America?
Based on recent data, Mississippi is consistently the poorest state, with a low median income and a poverty rate near 18%. West Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, and New Mexico also have high poverty rates, along with Kentucky, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Tennessee.
Tennessee. So see, it's not about big blue cities. Otherwise, it would be California, New York, Detroit, or Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, places like that. God almighty. Elite Storm 199. Last thing. Are you afraid of Greenland and NATO? No, not at all. Thank you for the 199. Oh, yeah, Benny Ruff, you're in luck. Call me, 410-941-9850. I'm going to go grab the phone. I'm assuming that's a challenge, right? Okay, I'm going to go grab my phone. Let me plug it in, make sure it's all charged up. 410-941-9850. You keep bringing Epstein up when you were accused of lame shit. You keep bringing Epstein up when you were accused of lame shit. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I wasn't accused of anything. What are you talking about? MAGA, just tell the truth. Say you voted for the racist because you're racist. That's what I fucking despise about these people the most, is how phony they are. If I was a racist and I voted for Trump, which if I was a racist, I would vote for Trump. You know what they say? Not everybody that voted for Trump is racist, but every racist voted for Trump. Okay. If that was me, I would just be a man. I'd be like, yeah, you're fucking right. I want Mexicans out, or whatever it is, you know, like you guys, all you really care about is keeping black people away from you, keeping Mexicans, keep them getting deported, and keeping trans people out of everything. You hate trans people, Mexicans, black people, the whole LGBTQ. It's what you do. So. Democrats are the most racist. Look at how they vote. All right. They voted for Ilhan Omar. They voted for AOC. They voted for Talita Tahib. I always fuck her name up. They voted for Barack Obama. Hakeem Jeffries, Al Green. What are you talking about? What does that mean? I was accused of something lame. What was I accused of? Yeah, Al Green. Yeah. Democrats are racist, too stupid to know they are. Well, there's racist people everywhere, no matter what. I would say liberals have this covert type of racism where they treat black people special and shit. It's like their way of babying them and being condescending to them. There's definitely some racism with the liberals, but I mean the blatant, overt racism that you see on the right, there's nothing like that on the left. Nothing. Yeah, well, tell me why, Mandatory Miko. I got to go in a second anyway. Anybody going to call in or what? Unless you voted for Lincoln, you likely voted for a racist. Probably. I think Lincoln was probably racist too. Shit. In Tennessee, the two manor cities, Memphis and Nashville, are both blue cities that carry the economy there. That's where the rare educated people flock to. Yeah, that's the bottom line. The educated people are in those cities. You guys think that every big city is just a bunch of poor black people? What are you, out of your fucking minds? You ever go to New York City and count the Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Bentleys and Rolls Royces and everything else? Trump cares about illegal people who look like you and they need to be deported. Man, that's fucked up. So that means, what do you think I am? Just out of curiosity. No, Democrats are not. GQP. What does that mean? GQP. What is that? Shut the fuck something up, bro. I've seen more Puerto Ricans use the N-word than any white people I've ever known. Well, they use it how black people use it. You ever lived in the hood or been in jail? I mean, it's okay for Latinos to use the N-word according to black people. So they use it that way. What do you mean? And white people never use the N-word because they're terrified to. They use it at the bar with their friends. They use it when they're telling jokes over the phone or through text messages. They'll never say it in fucking public where other people can hear them because they're scared to death to be who they really are, because they're scared they'll get beat the fuck up, which they probably would. How do these show racism towards whites, especially considering he's half white? Please tell me. I'm curious. Bro, you're not going nowhere? That's good. I don't want to go nowhere. I want to go somewhere. All the rats scattered, afraid to call in. And here's one of these guys. Put the number in the chat. Yeah. 410-941-9850. Mr. Street Smarts, do you think it will hurt the Dems come November for not standing up when Trump said Americans first over illegals? No, the Democrats weren't standing for anything. I mean, simple-minded people might see. I'll give you an example. I had to talk to somebody about this yesterday because they asked me why the Dems weren't standing up. Trump is full of shit. That's why they're not they're not going to support a pedophile. Okay. And last State of the Union, last year, I don't know if you remember the black kid he used as a prop, the kid with cancer. And he gave him like, he made him like an ICE agent or some shit like that, honorary. He had just cut funding to pediatric cancer research. That's why the Dems didn't stand up. Because he was using the kid as a prop. He doesn't care about kids with cancer. So I don't think mesothelioma comes from cigarettes, to be honest. It comes from asbestos and shit. Have I? I've been talking about setting myself on fire. Oh my God, when? I got to stop myself. America first just means whites over everyone else. That's what they mean by it, yes. It's hard to be superior when those you hate are living better than you. New Yorkers voted for a free ride and free groceries, free rent. Good. Awesome. And Republicans vote to have their own health insurance taken away, their own Social Security taken away. They vote for tax increases on themselves. They vote for disabled people, veterans, old people, children to not be able to get any assistance so they can fucking survive. When they can't help themselves, stuff like that. So yeah, good. That's a good. Those are three good things to vote for. Tell me I can get free rides, free groceries, and free rent. I'm voting for it too. Yep. Do you mean GOP when you're saying that? Oh shit! Sorry to hear that, bro. No, they don't, Angus, nobody denies, not even Fox News. Nobody's denying the Democrats are going to demolish if there's free and fair, legit elections, that's a big if. Democrats, there's no chance they're not going to at least take the House back, and there's a good chance the Senate too. So they're not having a hard time. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Wendell. Democrats are winning most special elections. They are. No, he can't. And besides, for what? Because let's bring that up for a second. No, it's not, Tim Stevenson. You're just stupid. What was I going to say? Shit. I just forgot now. Anyway. Has his administration... Oh, shit. Fuck, I lost all my comments. Oh, well. Let me see if I can try to somehow catch up. Has his administration done anything policy-wise that benefits average Americans? No. Nothing. Unless you want to consider the 5 or 10 cents extra you might get on your refund because of the no tax on tips thing and all that, and an overtime thing. But hey, Angus, you ever notice that that Trump never sues anybody who's accused him of rape? Isn't that some shit? Elon Musk said Trump is in the Epstein files. Truth bomb, Trump is in the Epstein files. A dream lawsuit, the richest man in the world. Trump could have sued him for defamation, but didn't. Wonder why. Oh, yeah, because he's in the files. Yeah. Katie Johnson accused him of raping her at 13. No lawsuit. E. Jean Carroll accused him of raping her. Not only did he not sue her, she sued him. Not only did she win because it was proven that he raped her, but she also won a defamation suit for him saying that she was lying about him raping her. He never, anybody, his wife, Ivana, in 1989, accused him of brutally raping her. She said this in court filings, no lawsuit. Funny, right? You know why? Because he can't do the depositions, because then they, he'll have to be under oath and answer questions, and he can't do that because he's guilty. Yeah, of course, yeah. But especially this time. Yep. Yeah, and you know what the result of that lawsuit was? He didn't sue CNN over the Epstein files. What did Trump sue CNN over? In October 2022, Donald Trump sued CNN for defamation, seeking $475 million in punitive damages, claiming the network used its influence to libel and slander him. The lawsuit alleged that CNN's frequent use of the phrase "the big lie" to describe his 2020 election challenges was a deliberate attempt to associate him with Adolf Hitler and Nazi propaganda. Dismissal. A federal judge dismissed the lawsuit in July 2023, ruling that the phrase was a matter of opinion rather than a false statement of fact. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Yes, she did. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, she does. All right, guys. I'll do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. Thanks for your support. I'll see you later on another one of these.